Hi, my name is Brian Dabney with Med1 Group. I am a territory sales manager for the company. I am also a respiratory therapist. Today, I'm going to talk to you about one of my most favorite non-invasive ventilators out on the market, the Respironics BIPAP V60. One of the great secrets about the BIPAP V60 is something called digital Auto-Trak Sensitivity. Auto-Trak Sensitivity will look at the change in the leak compensation to be able to achieve patient ventilator synchrony and comfort. This is a great tool for us to be very successful with the non-invasive ventilation. And this will also be able to look at leaks up to 60 liters per minute. As we prepare the BIPAP V60 for our patients, it's very important that we get everything ready prior to that. One of the biggest things we need to look at is we need to look at the interface. Respironics recommends that we use the Respironics Mask. And we can tell that this is a Respironics mask because there is a number on the elbow, and that's very important for us to be able to look at with that. We will go next to the bacteria filter. We have to have a filter on the machine so that we will not be cross-contaminating our patient with that. Then we go to our circuit. The circuit is going to be smooth bore tubing, so we have less turbulent flow and make it a lot easier for our patients to be able to breathe. And the circuit will have an exhalation port. That is very important as we use the Respironics V60 for patient compliance with that and for our CO2 removal. Then we will look at the bracket that we can hook up any extra humidity for our patients if that's going to be required for our patients. And we also will have an area for 2 oxygen E-cylinders so that we can be able to set that up when we want to transport our patients throughout the hospital. As we look at the mask, we show that there is a number 1 down here. That's a number that we're going to go ahead and key into the BIPAP V60 right under here so that we can tell the machine exactly what type of a mask we're using. If we were to use another type of a mask, we would come over here and we would tell the machine that it's an other so that it will know exactly what the readings are going to be able to share on the machine for us. So we're going to leave this at 1. I hit accept, and now that's been set. Now it's going to ask me what type of a exhalation port do we have on our circuit. We're going to leave this at DEP, which stands for disposable exhalation port. And that's exactly what we have here. That's the Respironics DEP, so that now the machine will know exactly what interface and what circuit we have so that we're going to be able to get those accuracy in our numbers. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept, and now the machine is ready to go. Why is this so important? Well, it's very important that we tell the machine what type of a mask, what type of an interface circuit we have for accuracy. If the tidal volume numbers and the leak numbers are not reading properly, we're going to get alarms with this. Now, as we set this appropriately, it will be able to give us the accuracy numbers that we're looking at. And not only that, for patient ventilator synchrony, it's very important that we can be able to set this so that the patient will be able to get the breath exactly when they need it, and we'll be able to read those numbers. Otherwise, the accuracy will be affected. Now we're also going to look into the different buttons that are down here at the very bottom of the machine. We can see that there are some settings here. We have our BIPAP settings, we have our alarm settings, we have our modes, and we have our standbys. We just looked at the mask and the port under the menu. I'm going to share a couple more buttons that's going to be on the machine that you need to be aware of. We have our brightness. And this is a great screen because we need to make sure that we can be able to see it appropriately. Now, some of my patients used to complain that this is too bright for them. So what I would do is I would dim this thing down all the way down to 1 at nighttime, just so they don't have so much of a bright light with that. Nurses don't like that, but my patients definitely liked it for us with that. So I'm going to bring that back up to 5. The next button over is the loudness. It's very important that we hear the alarms going off if something's going wrong, whether the patient was disconnected or the patient's having any complications. We can set this between 1 and 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I always will recommend having that at 10 so that we can be able to hear what's going on. We have event information, just basically gives us the software information so we can look at that. And then there's a screen lock button down here so that we can actually lock up the screen because we have some patient family members that are trying to play respiratory therapists and they want to make changes. Not a good thing for us to have. We can hit our little unlock button right up there, and now we have our access to our screen again. We're going to talk about modes now. Now, the great thing about the BIPAP V60 is you have a lot of different modes to be able to choose from. One being CPAP, one being BIPAP non-invasive ventilation / ST for spontaneous time. You have PCV, which is pressure control ventilation. And then you have a new mode that we fell in love with is AVAPS, which stands for Average Volume Assured Pressure Support Ventilation. That's a mouthful, isn't it? But the great thing about it is it's a new mode that will help you to be able to give your patients a little bit more accurate tidal volume and non-invasive ventilation. But today we're going to talk about primary CPAP and ST because those are going to be the primary ones that we're going to be using. CPAP, we highlight it. Once we highlight that, it immediately goes into the setting changes so we can now make our setting changes. Say the doctor says, okay, Brian, I want to have a CPAP set at 12 centimeters of pressure. I can go in here, use my up and down arrow keys to be able to make that setting change. Once I have 12, I have to hit accept in order to be able to make that setting change locked into there. The next button over is something called C-Flex or our ramp time. Ramp time allows us to be able to set the pressure so that it can increase over a certain period of time. We don't really use this a lot in the acute care setting, but in home care, it's a great function for our patients. So I'm going to just leave that down to 5 minutes. C-Flex is the next button over. C-Flex basically gives us the option to be able to ease that breath when the patient gets ready to exhale. Why is that important? Well, if you have a patient that is on a lot of pressure, say 12 centimeters of water pressure, when they get ready to exhale, it's a lot of resistance for them to be able to breathe again. So what we can do is we can drop that pressure by setting a C-Flex between 1 and 3, and that will give them a little bit more easier transition from inspiratory to expiratory. So I'm going to leave that at 3. And the last button that we're going to hit is going to be the oxygen button. This is where we're going to dial in our FiO2. Say the doctor says, I need this patient on 40% oxygen. So I would go ahead and dial in 40% and be able to hit accept. As soon as I do that, then we're ready to go. Then you're all ready to set your patient up on CPAP mode. The next mode we're going to talk about now is BIPAP ST for spontaneous time. This is probably the most used mode that we use anytime we're using non-invasive ventilation. In order to be able to make that setting change, we're going to go under our modes. We're going to click BIPAP ST. Everything is grayed out right now because we have not transferred it over yet to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the IPAP. This is where we're going to be setting our settings for us. The doctor is going to give you an IPAP setting and an EPAP setting. The doctor says, okay, I want to have this patient 12/5. So I'm going to dial in 12. I hit accept. Now I'm going to go over to the next button, which is my EPAP. I have 5 set already, so I'm going to hit accept. Now we have the opportunity to be able to set up a backup rate. This is very important because if the patient goes apneic, we will be able to have a backup respiratory rate for that patient, so they'll never be without a breath. So I'm going to set this up at 12. I have that. I hit accept. I can look at my oxygen as well, and then my I time, my rise time, and then I will hit activate. I'm going to go ahead and set my I time at 1 second, so we're ready to go with that. And then my rise time, once again, is allowing us to be able to determine how fast we're going to deliver that breath to our patient. What's nice about this feature is we can set this for patient comfort. Why is that important? Because we want to make sure our patients are compliant. If we have a patient that is air starved, it's very important that we give that breath as quickly as we can. Let me explain to you with that. If I set this at 1 and I'm going to hit activate, you will now be able to hear the patient be able to get that breath very quickly. It delivers it very fast. That may be good for the patient that is air starved, but if I have a patient that is breathing very comfortable and having a time where they're not having a difficult time breathing, I'm going to go ahead and set this down to 3, and now it's going to make the patient a lot more comfortable. Once again, looking after our patients to be able to provide patient comfort with that. Once I have everything all set, we can hit activate. Now we're in the BIPAP ST mode, and we can now monitor our patient. The next mode we're going to talk about is PCV, which represents pressure control ventilation. This is a nice function for our patients when we have to provide them a little bit of extra support. Every one of these breaths that we're going to be delivering is going to be controlled with an I time. So we'll be able to determine, give them exactly what they want every single breath. We can do the same settings that we just previously did. We have our IPAP and our EPAP setting. We have our rate. We have our oxygen. Now, this is where we're going to set that I time so that we can be able to deliver that breath every single time the patient triggers their breath, exactly what the I time is set. This will be able to help that patient so that as they're struggling to be able to get that breath, they'll get an exact delivered breath via I time force with that. We hit activate. Now we're in pressure control ventilation. It's just that simple. The last mode we're going to talk about now is AVAPS, which stands for Average Volume Assured Pressure Support Ventilation. That's a mouthful, isn't it? The great thing about AVAPS is primarily this. We can now deliver a BiPAP breath. We can set a targeted tidal volume that we can be able to achieve by setting a minimum and maximum on our IPAP so that we can be able to give that patient what he needs a little bit more accurate. And that's a great mode for us as an option. I can hit our AVAPS. We come in here. You can now see all of our settings. I can now dial in exactly the tidal volume that we're targeting to try to get. And we target that because what we're looking at is we're looking at a minimum and a maximum pressure on our IPAP. That is very important for us to be able to set appropriately so that we can be able to get as close as we can to that targeted tidal volume. Everything else is going to be exactly the same. We have our rate. We have our I time, we have our rise oxygen, we hit activate, and now we're in AVAPS. Once again, very important that we hit activate every time we make any setting changes so that we can be able to make sure we get into the next mode. Otherwise, it's going to remain in the previous mode. Okay, now that we've gone through all the mode options for you, it's very important that we go back into the machine now and set the alarm settings appropriately for that particular mode that we're in. So we are back in BIPAP ST mode. I'm going to hit the next button over, which is our alarm settings. And now we have some different alarms we need to be setting. The most important ones that we set are going to be these first ones that we look at, the high rate and the low rate, high tidal volume and low tidal volume. This is very important because we want to make sure that we're monitoring our patient at all times. We don't want them to be able to get too much volume or too much pressure, which can cause some trauma to our patients with that. So I'm going to look at my patient settings. I'm going to see what my tidal volume is. I'm going to look at the rate, and now I can determine where I'm going to set my high and low rate. And these are all set very differently throughout the hospitals, but I always look at the low rate possibly being down to 5 breaths per minute, and then my high rate up to between 45 and 55 with that. Same thing goes with my tidal volume. I can look at my tidal volume. I can see exactly where I want to set my low. I have it set at 50 and I have it set at 1,000. That could be anywhere between 750 up to 1,000 at all times. We have high inspiratory pressure, low inspiratory pressure, low minute ventilation, and low inspiratory time. These are once again some more settings so we can be able to look so that we can have everything set appropriately so we don't have any nuisance alarms for our patient as well as for the nurse that's taking care of them. Now we're going to be looking at some of the graphics on this wonderful interface that we have here. What's important is we're looking for our patients to be able to see how much spontaneous breathing they're actually doing. Respironics did something very nice for us. They have a color-coded change when the patient is breathing spontaneous and the patient's breathing in apnea ventilation. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the screen right here, we can now look at each one of these breaths, our machine-triggered breaths, and it starts with orange and then it goes down to a gray. That tells us that the patient is literally being assisted every one of those breaths. They're not doing any spontaneous breathing at all. Now, when the patient does start doing some spontaneous breathing, look at the color change. Now we have a blue breath. Every one of our breaths have now changed from orange to blue. This is a great tool for the respiratory therapists as well as to the nurses. What do I mean by that? Well, we can literally just look at the screen as we're assessing the patient without looking at any numbers and determine if the patient's doing any spontaneous breathing just by the color itself. If I see blue, I know the patient is spontaneous breathing. If for some reason the patient is now riding the ventilator, those breaths will now change from blue to orange, as you're seeing on the screen right now. There's my orange, no longer blue breaths. What a great tool for us to be able to use. Our nurses like that. Our respiratory therapists enjoy that as well. A couple more features that I like to point out to you at this time is we've already talked about our on-off switch. The next button that we have down here is actually showing that our battery is being charged with us at all times. We have a navigation ring up here with a check mark. This will allow us to be able to make some setting changes as well and lock them into place. We have our alarm silence, our alarm reset, and then we have an actual bar that will show us exactly what our active alarms are at this time. I'm going to demonstrate real quick to show you exactly what happens if we had a power outage, and show you what the V60 is going to do. We've now lost our power. We are showing that we're running on the internal battery. It's going to stay there. Now that battery light has been turned off because it's saying we are now on internal battery. Respironics V60, as we have a fully charged battery, will last up to 6 hours. That is a long time for a backup battery. So we're grateful for that, because that also allows us to be able to do intra-hospital transports now. As we talked about earlier, we can have some e-cylinders down here. We can take the patient off the power. Now we can be able to take our BIPAP V60 down to X-ray or CT or MRI, keep the patient breathing on the non-invasive ventilation at all times, and get them where they need to go without losing any patient comfort with that. Great feature of the BIPAP V60. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate another alarm. This will be a medium priority alarm. As you notice, we have a yellow alarm now, and that's just indicating and letting you know that we have exceeded our rate setting on here. Once again, this will stay on the alarm setting here for you, so that when the respiratory therapist can come in, the nurse is saying, hey, this thing is alarming like crazy. Can you please come up here and look at it? These will remain on here until you come up here and hit alarm reset. And now you'll be able to have all alarms being cleared out for you. Now that we have everything all set for us and our patient wants to get up and use the restroom and we want to turn the unit off or put it in standby, we can come down here, hit the standby feature. It will now tell you in order to disconnect the patient, in order to put it in standby. I'm going to disconnect my patient. It's going to recognize that, and now we're in standby mode. It will stay in standby until one of two things happen. Either we hook the patient back up, or we can actually hit the button, start the ST mode again, then we will be out of standby. The patient just woke up and now it says, I'm done. We're ready to take this BiPAP off. I'm going to go ahead and hit my on-off switch. It's going to ask you, do you want to shut this down? We're going to say yes, ventilator shut down. And now the BiPAP V60 is turned off. It will remain off until you turn it back on, and it will remain in those same settings so that when you turn it back on, you won't have to worry about resetting the machine back up. Okay, we're going to show you a little bit more about the back of the V60 so you can become familiar with that. We have our oxygen line here, so we can hook up for a high pressure 50 PSI connection with that. We have our cooling fan right here, and then we have our plug. As you notice down here, we have two separate hoses so we can be able to hook them up to our oxygen e-cylinders for transport, and then your main line that will go into your 50 PSI source in the wall for the hospital with that. Very nice that we have this extra feature for transportabilities of the BiPAP V60. This has been your demonstration of the BiPAP V60. I hope this has been very helpful for you with that. I'm very excited to be able to talk to you about the BiPAP V60. This is a great machine. You'll be very successful taking care of your patients with this. One thing that I have found as a respiratory therapist that is when we look into implementing any type of non-invasive ventilation to our patients, it's very important that we spend that time to be able to coach them, let them get used to the interface, let them get used to breathing on the machine. Sometimes we have to make some setting changes with our rise time, different things like that to be able to help them so they're going to be more comfortable with that. As we spend that extra time with our patients, we will be that much more successful in any type of non-invasive therapy to our patients. That has been a great, helpful tool for me, and I'd like to share that with you as well today. If you have any questions, if you'd like to get any more information, please reach out to our website, www.med1group.com. We'd be more than happy to assist you with any demonstrations or any rentals that we can provide for you. Thank you very much for your time today, and we'll talk to you next time.